All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are diving deep into a really unique spiritual cosmology that comes from the text, The Portal of Light. It gives us a completely different way of looking at our reality, our planet, and where we're all headed. So brace yourself, because we're going to start with a pretty mind-bending question. Just think about that for a second. What if everything you thought you knew, this world all around us, wasn't quite what it seems? The material we're looking at today kicks things off with this exact idea, that our planet Earth isn't just our home, it's actually a very cleverly designed prison. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. This isn't a story without a little bit of hope. The text claims that this long period of confinement is finally coming to an end, and not just by chance, but because of a massive, universe-altering cosmic event that's happening right now. This is the core story we're going to unpack together. So, to really get what's going on in this cosmic drama, we have to start with the main problem that the text describes: Earth's status as a planet that's been put under quarantine. And this isn't something that just happened. According to this source, the quarantine has been in place for the last 26,000 years. It's been enforced by these dark forces they call the Archontes, who were basically described as the cosmic architects behind this whole planetary lockdown. Okay, so you're probably asking, how could an entire planet be a prison without anyone even noticing? Well, the text explains that it's not about physical bars and walls. It's way more sophisticated. It's a multi-layered system of control, an invisible prison built on the non-physical planes of our existence. The source points to a few key systems that keep this prison running. As you can see, we've got the matrix, the veil, a twisted version of the law of karma, and something called the primary anomaly. We're going to break down those first three right now. First up, the Matrix. And no, not just the movie. Here, it's described as a kind of virtual reality program built on the astral plane, that's the realm of our emotions, and the etheric plane, our energy body. And holding it all in place is something called the veil. Think of it like a giant electromagnetic frequency fence around the Earth, designed to block higher frequency light and information from getting in. It's basically keeping us in a state of spiritual isolation. Now, this is where the text really challenges a huge spiritual belief. It claims that karma, as most of us understand it, isn't some universal law of cosmic balance. Nope. Instead, as the quote says, it's an artificial system, a program, put in place by the Archontes to trap us, to trap souls in a never-ending cycle of reincarnation. It basically turns a concept of justice into a mechanism for control. So, if that's the prison, what's the key to getting out? Well, the source material is super clear on this. The power isn't somewhere out there, it's inside you. It's all about remembering and plugging back into your true divine self. This inner powerhouse is called the I Am presence. You can think of it as your higher self, your soul, your direct line to the universe, to source. It's described as a being of pure light that has absolute power, and the entire prison system is designed to make you forget that this presence even exists within you. And this divine connection, it shows up in our relationships too. The text makes a really interesting distinction here. You've got soulmates, which are incredibly powerful connections that exist on the sixth dimension. But then you have twin flames, which are on a whole other level. That's one single soul split into two bodies, connected way up at the seventh dimension. The text says this is where our deepest archetypes of partnership actually come from. And here's the kicker. The union of these two halves of a single soul, the twin flames, is said to create a force so powerful it can literally shatter the control system. So, according to this text, that's exactly why the system, the Archontes, works so hard to keep twin flames apart, to keep them from ever finding each other and uniting. This all brings us to the big turning point of the story. The text says that the 26,000-year-long reign of these dark forces is coming to an end. Why? Because a massive cosmic cycle is completing itself. A huge cosmic shift is happening right here, right now. This timeline really helps put it all into perspective. You can see the quarantine started 26,000 years ago, but right now, a powerful being called the cosmic soul is stepping in. And the text points specifically to the period around 2025, with some major astrological events as the critical trigger point that's going to kick off a brand new spiritual renaissance for all of humanity. So, with this cosmic shift happening, the text says that the forces of light are sending in some help. They're providing us with spiritual technologies or tools to help us break down the prison from the inside and speed up this new age of awakening. The first tool is called the violet flame. It's described as this spiritual energy that has an incredibly high frequency. And it doesn't just clear away negative energy, it actually transmutes it. It changes it at a vibrational level, turning all that dense stuff like trauma and blockages back into pure light. And then you've got what the Source calls the ultimate technology of the light forces, the goddess vortex. Just imagine this powerful, rainbow-colored spiral of energy that directly dissolves the matrix. The text claims that when people consciously channel this energy, they're actively helping to take apart the entire control structure. Pretty wild, right? So we have all these tools, we have this big cosmic shift, but what's it all for? What is the end game? For humanity? For the planet? What is the final destination? Well, the text is very clear. The ultimate goal is something called Ascension. But Ascension isn't something you just sit around and wait for. It's about you actively co-creating your reality. The text gives us a really simple but powerful 3-step process for manifestation. First, you make a decision. You use your free will to decide exactly what you want. Second is invocation, where you charge up that goal with your emotions and enthusiasm. And finally, you take physical action to help bring it into the real world. And this whole process is what leads to Ascension. It's defined as total, complete liberation. It means all of your energetic blockages are released, and your physical body and your energy bodies reach the state of what's called superconductivity. It's like light and energy can just flow through you with zero resistance. It's the final, ultimate freedom from that invisible prison. So, what do we do with all this information? Is this a genuine map to our spiritual freedom? A hidden truth about our world finally coming to light? Or is it maybe a really compelling modern myth that's been created for a new age? The source text, The Portal of Light, presents this whole thing not just as a story, but as our actual cosmic destiny. The real question is, what do you think?